Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be tackling something a bit different compared to the content I've been putting out recently. Usually, using SwiftUI, we've been building cool, innovative UIs that really enhance the user experience and how it looks. But today we're going to dive into something more concrete, which is the backend stuff. What goes on behind those UIs to make things work. So like the logic, really. And with that, today we're going to be building a settings page with a setting control using UserDefaults. So we're going to actually show you how settings are built in apps and how you can create them in your own apps as well. Let's get started by creating a new Xcode project. I'm just going to choose a multi-platform app template and let's just call this settings page. And none of these need to be ticked. I'm just going to save this in my documents as usual. And here we are. For starters, what can we do first? Well, let's just start off by creating a basic settings page UI so you can get the feel of it maybe. Let's create a new page for this. So we're going to be clicking on SwiftUI view and then hitting next. Let's name this settings view. And within this view, we can start off by creating a navigation view, so it'll look a bit better and a more, the usual layout that's found in applications today. Let's add navigation bar title of type text, and let's just call this settings. And inside of our navigation view, let's just start off by creating some text. And in this case, what do we want our setting to be? Well, of course, in your real apps, you're going to be making a lot more innovative settings with maybe like the user preferences, customization, etc. But in this case, we're just doing a demo. So let's set our option to be something like page background color, or just background color. And of course we were going to be needing a switch for that. Let me just fix that real quick. Full screen this and increase the font a bit. I think I don't need the title at all, really. There. I don't need the bar part of that. So now it should work. If we just wait a while for the preview to load, we can just see how everything runs and then just make that UI look a lot better while we see the preview, so it'll be easier. So here we are with the preview. Of course it's really bland right now, but at least our settings navigation title works. Let's just create a quick H stack, add some padding, add a spacer, and add a switch. Or is that toggle? Yep, it's called toggle. And of course in the toggle we need an is-on and a label. I think the is-on only is fine, since we can do it this way. Let's create an @state variable. So this is going to be our is-on variable, so let's just say setting 1, I don't know, we can rename this later, equals false. And let's just set that to setting 1. If we resume, oops, I forgot the $sign for state variables. And the preview seems to be a bit wonky today. Finally, that's worked. Of course, I need to remove this real quick, and that bit, and add a bit of padding. And also, we can probably remove the H stack. Of course, if you're creating a complete settings page, You might want to use a form and multiple of these fields with switches, but for now that's going to do. And right now I thought we would use user defaults, so let's just get a bit of that set up real quick. Right on our navigation view, I'm going to create an onAppear modifier, so that's going to check if, like, right when this navigation appears, this is going to run. And for starters, let's get user defaults, so let's just call this ud equals user defaults.standard. So we're going to be able to use user defaults.standard really easily. And now let's just say bg color equals ud.value for key, and then let's set our key to be bg color as well. So let me just explain this real quick. Right now the way to access your user defaults are through user defaults.standard, and you can really easily get a value for any key. So in this system, the way it works is each value is assigned a key that stores it. So when you have that key, it's going to go into that user defaults location and get the value stored for that key. It's a really simple system. And before we move on, I'm just going to really quickly explain user defaults as well. So user defaults are really used for not large storage. So in case you want to store images, want to store large files, it's not for anything related to that. Maybe an array or two, but mainly it's for small constants or settings really that you want to store on the user's device to be referenced later. How that comes into play is if they quit the app or shut down and restart their phone or something similar, or even reset their, if they reset their phone, it's all going to be wiped, but if they restart, shut down, or quit the app, like force kill it, etc., it's going to be stored on the device, so the app can just refresh and re-pull that into the app. Of course, we're going to need a bar here. And now we can first off check if this is nil. So for the first time the user like accesses this app, this constant will obviously not be set yet, so there's no need to do anything. But if they have accessed this before and changed this setting, this is going to be set then, so then we would have to check if it's not nil to actually use it. And I forgot, since we're using a switch, we would actually have to do it something similar to that. So we're going to set if it's going to be blue if we toggle the switch on. So and I think we can just do that. So right now what I'm doing is first off checking if bg color is not equal to nil, so we can actually access that value. And then next I'm going to be setting 1 to be equal to true if bg color, like the value, is on, and it's going to be false if not. So that's how we're just setting up this conditional. And with that, if user defaults has stored bg color to be on, this is going to be switched on automatically. We'll see that later down the line. Now let's also pull this here, right here. We can do it right here, yeah. So right now what we need to do is just, well, we can set the background color in a few different ways. I'm just going to do it in a really easy way. Let's just create a z stack and have a color variable, a color constant or color element, and that's going to be dot blue and we're just gonna do this if setting 1. That's all there is to it. So now if we run this, in theory it should work. And I forgot, I don't need that really. There it is. Now if we were to run this and hit the play button right here, if I tick this, we do get the background color to be blue. But here's the big thing: if we were to quit this app, would it change? Well, right now we're not actually storing if it changes though, so we need to do that next. There's two different ways we can really go about this. One is changing it when the app closes, or the other is changing it right when they change the toggle. Right, so first let's just do it the easier way, and that's using on disappear. So we could just do it the same way. I think, did I spell that wrong? Yeah, okay, it's disappear. The same way we did dot on appear, and here all we're gonna do is copy that. So we're gonna initialize UserDefaults again, and we're going to do ud dot set value, and then here the value is going to be on. I'm just going to do an conditional here to make it easier. So let's do if setting 1. Copy that in here. On for key BG color. And then let's just do else. So right now, this is all we need to just make that all work and set the user defaults value for BG color to be on and off. And then right here, we're accessing that as well. So now our setting is complete. Let's just go and run this on an emulator to see how it all works. Now we see the emulator popping up, and while this pops up, I just want to talk about the applications of this real quick. So right here, we obviously use a really silly example that it's not going to be really practical in real usage, but you can use this for literally anything. And in this case, we're just accessing it in the same page, in the same settings view. But let's say you have another portion of the app that needs this constant or this setting, you can just access it the same way as you would here by just using user defaults and then getting the value for that key. And I also forgot to change it right here. Since we created it in a different page, we would just need to change the view that was going to be displayed. Let's just rerun that. But yeah, so you can really use this for any setting or any constant that you need saved, and not really constant, but I mean more like any variable. The options are really endless, so just try it out and so finally, the application is loaded on the emulator. Now if we take this on, it turns blue. If we take it off, it turns back to normal. And right now, if I were to force quit this app and rerun it, we would see it's still normal. If I were to turn it blue and force quit the app and rerun it, it's still blue. So as you can see, the setting has worked and our user default has successfully been stored just as we wanted. And like I said, you can expand this application to all of the use cases that you would need. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please be sure to like this video, subscribe, comment down below, and hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload again. I'm hoping to deliver a lot more cool tutorials like this that are actually really useful in building your own applications. So I hope you're interested, and stay tuned. Bye.